Hello and welcome to the latest episode in our series of Antser Subject Matter Expert Talks. In each episode, our subject matter experts come together to discuss key topics and issues currently facing the sectors we work in, from children's and adult services to education and health. Our expertise spans 30 years, and we combine best practice with innovation and new emerging technologies to lead the way in doing things better, in partnership with local authorities and independent providers.
In a sense, as in our world, in all of our experiences, the issues for our children, young people and families in need have grown and changed over the years. And if you're a foster carer, you have the opportunity to keep upskilling yourself, really, don't you? I know we might not talk about foster carers as upskilling, but that is what they're doing, increasing their knowledge there, upskilling themselves. How do I manage CSE now? How do I look at CCE? How do I address this current, the bullying, any of the issues? Every time there is that for them, they will reach out. And sometimes it does feel that we perhaps haven't found a way to let our birth families know that they can reach out as well, and we will have a way to go back and provide that support, even if they come back 5 times. Today the issue is bullying. 2 years later the issue is about CSE, but each time they come back we will find ways to support them.
Absolutely. And how reassuring would that be if once we can step, and it's an achievable thing as well. We are talking about things that are known, they are known subjects, and we have experts in all of those departments, all around the world, and in the UK particularly. And the landscape, as you quite rightly pointed out, does change, and people in those positions, I'm not just talking foster carers, they have to upskill to remain relevant in their industry. So maybe they are they have that privilege of people continuously saying, you need to do this training, you need to learn about this, you need to learn about that. And many birth parents don't have that because they're not faced with some of those challenges.
And what my experience from my time in children's services is that if you do come back a year later, or if you do come back 2 years later, in a sense we judge the service because we say you've got a repeat referral, you didn't address the issue, so they've now come back, so therefore we're kind of giving you that cross rather than that tick. Where actually I wonder if it's changing that conversation. It is okay for a family to come back and to say, I want something different and new now. Yeah. And that's it. Sorry, Abby.
I was going to say, because life changes, doesn't it? If you look at COVID and the impact that's had on mental health and finances, so they may have come to you for a different situation, but COVID, and they've moved through that. The support was fabulous, but then they've moved through and COVID's happened and it's triggered mental health, which they thought they'd managed, but actually it's really brought it to the forefront. So actually approaching it and having a service where it's accessible, and we are lowering the barriers, we are wanting to enable and empower families. And when I was talking about the kind of structure around adoption and fostering, because I think that does very much focus on strengths-based, doesn't it? And it sits with things that are sometimes really hard conversations, and we sit and we think about that kind of I talk like DDP having that kind of just holding, not trying to fix scary conversations.
And I think, I think what Dan said, wouldn't it be amazing if people knew they could keep coming back for that without judgment? And then if we come back to the kind of question of, so how do we get stability and keep families together? It feels to me, what I'm hearing from you both is it's kind of opening the doors, showing that we're empathizing with people, and then empowering them enough to know that it's okay to come back, and that then they will, when there is those issues that are arising, that they need our support.
Absolutely. It's removing that, the shame element and the pride element from isn't it? Absolutely. Once you can break that cycle, today, once you break that cycle, people will come back. They say foolish leans on his pride, people will come back for that help. It is okay to not be okay, and it is okay to not know something. We don't all know everything. I think I've learned stuff every year being in fostering for the last 20 years. No, if not every day,
Yeah.
That's
and that's why if you empower people, what comes with empowerment is people's understanding that it's okay not to know or okay to help. Empowerment isn't about just saying to people, stand up on your own. Empowerment is about saying, I feel really okay to ask for your help. And what we have to do with that when we meet people is we have to show that we genuinely empathize with them about what they're coming to ask us for. It feels to me today, I was talking with Joe, the principal at the staff college, and the staff college train all of the aspirant DCSs, and we concluded maybe one of the issues is we need to change the conversation. And to me, it feels like what we've just been talking about is a real change of the conversation. And at the college, they have think tanks every summer, and you guys have given me a real idea about how we invite the change into that conversation. And I'm going to kind of send them a note to say we should have you guys there really talking about that with those aspirant DCSs around how changing the conversation can change people feeling okay to come and ask us for help. And when they do that, we're more likely to keep families together and children stable.
Yeah, and this is, in actual fact, you mentioned the care review earlier on, Alison, and I met with Josh McAllister and had a really good chat with him. And I know that he'd come under some criticism because, he's stepped in from a different role. And I think changing the conversation, it's important to bring new voices in. And as I detailed to him that if the same minds that created the problems are the ones trying to solve the problems, then we just end up going around in a circle. So we have to allow people to bring different energy and different voices and different ideas to the table. And that's how we change the conversation, because otherwise we're just going to keep going in circles.
Perfect way to answer. Change the conversation, stop circles, keep children and families together, and enable children to thrive. Thanks very much, guys. It's been really brilliant talking with you.
Thank you.
Bye.